A very good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. Today, we are going to talk something beyond classroom, something beyond your marks, something beyond your academic performance. Let's begin with a small story. And it's a story of a simple village. And as just the sun was about to settle, the three women with their pots were standing near a well. And as they were balancing their well, their pots over their head, and they were having small chit chat, and it was a part of their normal routine, going to the well, fetching water, and then getting back to home before the dusk. Then suddenly they could hear the sound of the children echoing down the dusty path. And as they were balancing, the children start coming towards them. And one child came with his report card flying high in the air with proud over his face, and he declared, "Ma, I come first in the class today. And as you promised, you will get me a new mobile phone, a new video game to play on. And I'm going to play with my friends, but please ensure, Ma, that you get my games on time." And the boy just ran away to play with his friends. Thereafter, there came the second child. The second child, still holding his report card high, and declared, "Ma, I got maximum marks in mathematics, and you promised me a new bicycle." Of course, whenever there are achievements, the achievements are good. The achievements need appreciation. They need to be rewarded. Of course, that because of the hard work behind that. And the same child ran towards his friends to play with them. Thereafter, some time, a third child came with calmness, with peacefulness, and no big announcements to be made by him. But slowly and gently, he came towards his mother and said, "Ma, let me carry it for you." So my question is, which child you would be actually be proud of? The one who carried achievement, the one who succeeded in securing maximum marks, or the one who showed humbleness, who showed integrity, who showed responsibility towards his mother, to be strong enough, to show strength enough to help his mother to carry the pot back to his home. So my question is, can really the marks ensure the humbleness, the integrity, and a better future perspective for a child? Can 95% in any subject ensure integrity? Can 100% in any subject ensure the success in life? Why? We define success and failures as a specified terms laid down by our society. Is failure a true failure anyhow? This famous scientist, Thomas Edison, he failed at least thousands of times before he put his investigations on to bring about electric bulb. But whenever he was asked that you failed thousands of times, he said, "I never failed. I learned from those 1,000 experiments before coming to a successful one." So I just want to say that we never fail. We either win or we learn. And that is what the way of life has to be. The failures and success, they are just a part of the same story. They are never the opposite. To succeed, to success in life, you definitely need to fail. Indeed, the failure term should not be used. You need to just take on the hurdles and learn and then just rise again. Not just Thomas Edison, even the history is full of certain examples. We all, especially the children, are born up with abundance of tendencies, abundance of abilities, abundance of potential, and nothing is unachievable with them. But as a mentor, as a society, as a parent, as a teachers, our main responsibility is to provide them the nurturing environment so that they can just think about their dreams, they get the nurturing environment to go for their dreams. You would be amazed to know that the Stephen Hawking, he suffered from a neurological problem just at the age of 21. Still, he didn't quit. He was just onto a wheelchair for a number of years, and you will be astonished to see his results in field of cosmology and physics. So there are endless examples to quote up with such thing. Another example of Arunima Sinha. She was a national level volleyball player, and one day while she was traveling in a train, she had a fight with the robbers and they threw her out of the running train. And she lost one of her leg. But the important point is that she didn't quit at that time. She rose again, she trained her again, and she became the first Indian amputated woman to climb to the Mount Everest. So that is what the actual strength as a human being, as a limitless powers we have been gifted by the God. So we just need to not just work over the education, over the written concepts, but we have to work for the overall development of the child. So we can say that the mark sheets, they are just the numbers on a sheet of paper, but the true potential of the child is limitless. And we often mistake the mark sheets or the ranking in the exams to define the future of our child. But the future of our child is far beyond their classrooms. Some students speak through their words, some speak through their work in the classroom, some speak through their action in the playground, some speak through their words over the stage. So we just have to let them dream big, let them walk their own path, let them make their own path. We just have to be stand behind them, not to guide their path, but to ensure that whenever they fall, there is somebody to hold their hand. Whenever they fall, there is somebody to show their strength. And we have to just make them ensure that they work on their mind. They have a tendency to control the situation. They should not work externally to fight with the things, but they have to work internally over their minds to reach the new heights. There's an important saying that says, Jag jitya te kya jitya, jay jitya na man. So all our powers are within us, are within our mind. So we have to work upon ourselves. We have to just explore the possibilities around, not just in terms of education, in any field, in any environment that has been given to us. Thank you and have a nice day.